Tom, the thing is, people ask us pretty regularly to stop doing this segment, but, I always say, we'll stop reading the letters when you
stop writing them.
Hey, I think we actually said the same thing that time. Anyway, It's the mailbag.
Should we redo it?
It depends. It depends if you're changing how you feel about everything. It's like, I found God. I don't want to I don't want to disagree with you on that anymore.
Now let's keep it. I'm feeling naughty.
All right, first up, Mark in Boston. This is a question for you, Tom. Are we all going to die?
I want to say yes.
Definitely a dark start to the show.
I want to say yes, but it makes me think of a video by CGP. I always say CGP Grey, like that's so cray. There's a video by CGP Grey called Why Die? And he asked this question of, do we really have to die? Can it be treated sometime in the near future as a degenerative disease that we can eventually overcome? And it's definitely a mindfuck. He thinks that at some point we can actually cheat death. It doesn't have to be a part of our lives anymore, just as many diseases are no longer a part of our life. I kind of think we all will and have to die, though. That's my personal opinion.
The consequences of, I don't know, that's a whole can of worms. Maybe we should do an episode on that. I didn't realize Mark's letter was going to send us careening down this particular roadway. But if no one had to die, what would the consequences be in society
Crazy.
And whatnot? But I don't think we want to do that, do we? No?
Well, I think the argument there is dying of old age. Obviously, if you get hit by a train, you can't make it out of that one, I guess.
Right, but I don't know. Would you be able to play everything safe and get to experience everything in your own time if there was no time limit? Like, would there be no reward for stealing your parents' car and doing a road trip in high school, or embracing a 4-year college experience in such a reckless way?
Oh, God,
you could just dedicate one of your youth decades to drinking and one of them to smoking and one of them to, you know what I mean? Like, you could literally just, no timetable kind of, damn it. This is supposed to be a quick joke where we were in and out of the mailbag and it should have been over by now. Mark in Boston. Yeah, okay. Maybe we'll do an episode on it. Maybe not. But okay. Jesus, Mark. Thanks a lot. Thanks for nothing. Just piece of garbage. This next one's from Tyler in Las Vegas. What's the first thing you'd do if you, not necessarily buy, but what would you do the first thing if you won $1 million?
Oh, well, quit my job.
Sure.
Pay off all my loans.
Hey, Tom, he asked for the first thing. He didn't want your life story out of this.
No, I would pay
kidding.
off my student loans.
You can keep going. I'm just being a jerk.
In one fell swoop, I would pay off all my student loans, all of Megan's. I would buy us both Teslas, and I would purchase 200,000 SoundCloud followers to make this show seem more popular than it is.
Ooh, nice.
Because, SoundCloud is the big hub for all podcasts, and they're definitely not going bankrupt
I'm not
soon.
with it enough to know whether or not that's a joke.
That is absolutely not true, and they're going bankrupt.
Oh, well, hey, if there's good people on that sinking ship, then I wish them the best.
Yep.
Yeah, I guess loans for sure. I guess it's not exciting when you talk to a certain age group about what they do if they win $1 million. It's like, I'd get out of my active debt. That would be my first baller move. Yeah, I think the general big ones are loans, house for yourself, house for the parents type thing. That'd be nice. I don't know how much it would cost to just create a trust fund. I don't know if there's a minimum there, but could you just make 3 of those and be in case I have that many kids, they can have those? You know what that all entails?
So you're just going to give that money to your kids? Are you fucking crazy?
What am I going to do with it? I don't know.
Okay.
Or just put it down on solar. I don't know.
Sure. Sure. More Hanes underpants stocks.
That's right. I cut my teeth on the main streets of, there's one street I cut my teeth on. That's Wall Street for sure. So I think I know what I'm talking about. No, I think I just asked how trust funds work. Obviously, I have no idea what I'm talking about. But I guess to simplify it, paying off the loans, I think getting out of the current debt I'm in would be probably a good start. So
sure. Get back to zero. That'd be amazing.
That's right. Hey,
it might take $1 million just to get back to zero.
And the budget would somehow still be zero,
Right.
which is the bumper sticker of the show, I guess. Well, cool. A very logical answer to those questions, Tyler. I hope we didn't disappoint. So if you didn't have a job, would you start traveling right away? Would you set out like a certain amount to just start jet setting, or would you, I don't know, what would you do?
Honestly, Pat,
What would be your irresponsible expense? I think is what Tyler's getting at.
I mean, I would definitely buy the sickest Tesla.
Okay, so you'd go nice car.
Or maybe not the sickest, because the sickest is $250,000. I would just buy a very middle of the road Tesla, I feel like.
Okay.
I honestly, that's all I can think of. I might want to like buy a house, but I don't know if I love anywhere. I don't know if I would buy a house right away. I probably put money away to spend later.
Yeah.
Like I would probably take $600,000 and just put it away somewhere, somehow invest it, real estate maybe, pay off the loans, buy a Tesla, and then try to sit on the rest of the money for as long as I can would be what I would probably do.
Okay.
And the
I think
SoundCloud listeners.
My irresponsible thing would be to move to Cleveland. And this is going to sound lame, but I would buy, I don't know, a condo downtown that overlooked a lake probably, and then just buy Indian season tickets and not work for a year and just attend Indians games and have that be what I do for a year. And that would be the most relaxing.
Bad.
I would love that. That'd be so good.
So you would buy a townhouse.
Watch baseball for a year.
You wouldn't just buy a house.
I don't know. Whatever. Well, just because through Zillow Googling randomly, I know that there's a few condos in downtown Cleveland that have like pretty great views of the lake and the sunsets and whatnot. And I wouldn't want to have to drive to the games, so I definitely would want to just be able to walk to the stadium and stuff. So
Okay. Very cool.
in my dream, I don't really need a car, I guess. I could just walk to and from the only place I would need to go, which is the ballpark, and come home and use the restroom and eat and things like that. So
Awesome.
yeah. I don't think Jesse's like vast wealth fantasy aligns with my only watching baseball thing, but it sounds pretty good in my own head. So
That sounds like the most boring life in the world, Pat.
Really?
I'm sorry. I hate baseball. I'd do it with you. I would go to every game with you just to hang, but I hate baseball.
Well, we could talk. I mean, we could like, I don't know, write like an awful book about it, and then it would become a Lifetime movie or something. I don't know. Like, honestly, if that was our only goal for like the rest of our lives, is just to do that, write a book that technically gets published but doesn't get bought, and then turn it into some Desperate Networks movie or something, like made for TV movie.
Right.
I feel like before we died, we could accomplish that, but it's kind of like the Jeff Goldblum from Jurassic Park thing. Like we asked if we could, but whether or not we should was never on the table. So just things you got to take into account when you play around with these fictional things that'll never happen. Anyway, moving on. Callie in Las Vegas. Tom, what will your next tattoo be? Where will it be? Can you be very specific about where it will be? Also, what are you wearing right now?
So sexual.
That's like the fourth week in a row that
I know.
it's gotten inappropriate really fast.
I put a picture of my feet in the show notes last week, by the way.
You did. Give the people what they want, I guess.
Well, there's a link to it anyways.
Oh, wow. Oh, God. Okay. I don't know where to start in reacting to that, other than that's funny to me. But also, isn't that like a Craigslist like thing? Like that, it's a very frequent like
should at least
thing
be
you can
making
do for
money
money,
on it.
right? You're just giving away the goods for free to the listeners who it was very good of you, I guess. But that is very funny. I did not know you did that.
So I was actually in a tattoo shop over the weekend. Megan got done there a couple weeks ago, and she wanted to show me because we were out riding our bikes on the beautiful Saturday morning there.
Sounds like a very pleasant day.
Yeah, it was an amazing day. There was a tattoo I'd never quite finished. It is a Blink-182 tattoo. It is a Dutch windmill on a floating landmass with like this really crazy colored sunset over it.
See, that always confused me because you wanted it to be the little windmill, but I always saw it as the windmill from the Feel Good
Gorillas.
Inc. music video. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, a lot of people did. I didn't connect that when I got
Which
it.
isn't a bad thing. I think that's a great song.
That's a great video. Yeah,
And,
great song. But anyways, I have like a half an hour worth of clouds left to do. That would be my next one, but I also do really want a crow wearing a top hat tattooed on my leg.
What would that signify?
I just love crows. I've been feeding the crows in my neighborhood. I have an alarm set for 5 p.m. every day, and I go out with peanuts and sunflower seeds, and I put them on the sidewalk and in the yard, hoping that they'll be my friends.
Have the neighbors said anything?
No, it's my own yard. You don't have to worry about it.
Oh, okay. Has there been an uptick in bird fecal matter?
No, but actually I'm starting to wonder if just the chipmunks are getting to it, because I see the crows in the morning, but not at night. So I might try to change my feeding schedule to night. But what's interesting is the sunflower seeds, they're cracked and the shells are left there. So I know they're being eaten.
Interesting.
I just don't know by what. And I feel uncomfortable putting cameras out there, because then it just looks like I'm monitoring the neighborhood.
You know what you should do? And this was in some weird Boy Scout book. They say to, like, I don't know if you put a tarp under it, but you put flour down and you put your treat in the middle of the flour mass. And then the imprints that are left are pretty exact, or like better than you could guess from the grass or dirt.
Gotcha. So, that's genius. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, there's many negative things you could say about the Boy Scouts, but random, I guess, experiments like that are worth it. I don't even know if that's worth it, actually, now that I think about it. Just that one anecdote that I never even tried. Anyway.
But yeah, I would get that on my left inner calf.
Okay. Callie, I'm sure she appreciates the specificity.
I'm wearing sweatpants with mismatched socks, a Run DMC knockoff shirt that says F cops, and a Zelda zip-up hoodie. And
you just described one woke individual. It sounds like. Anyway, I thought that wasn't funny. I'm sorry, everybody.
Oh, wait, can I tell a super quick story?
I think you should, because I was just about to say what's up and how's it going, because we're on to the chat part. Get ready, everybody. We are about to chat.
Longest mailbag ever.
That's right. We should just stop the show and save everything for next week. Right. That's it.
Just regarding this shirt, I sang in a band for several years called The Good Fight, and someone came to one of our shows and reviewed it for their online blog or whatever. And this dude loved the band, loved everything about us, and then made this really weird, offhand comment about this t-shirt and how it was one of the better knockoff Run DMC shirts that he's seen, but still it was a knockoff Run DMC shirt, and he sounded like he kind of held it against me a little bit. I posted the article and everyone's like, what was this thing with your shirt, dude? He focused on it so much.
Oh, like a write-up of the band?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
But he
Can you put that in the show notes? I kind of want to read it.
Oh God.
What I don't want to do is see your feet because of a weird mailbag gag we did a few weeks ago. But what I do want is, I would love to read that.
I'll try to
find it.
Anything
that was ever written about The Good Fight, I'd like to see, actually.
I'm not sure if we posted that one specifically on our Facebook, because it wasn't super well written. We sent it to some friends, but
was it just like a scene blogger?
Kind of, yeah. The guy had brain damage who wrote it, so it wasn't super well written.
How is your job search? Can you call it a job search? Following up from last week?
Yeah, I actually just a minute ago got an email about it from my boss, which is good.
Would you say this is breaking news?
It is breaking news.
Hey, cool. Which is what people come to this particular program for, as everybody knows.
It's breaking in the moment, but 4 days later when it's posted, it will be so old.
Things that were super time sensitive 4 days ago.
So my boss asked last week if I can come in early Monday to talk. And as you know, I haven't really been going to the shop too much because I just meet at the job site because I live so far away now. And so driving there is kind of a hassle. Drove 45 minutes, got there, and he's like, ooh, I can't talk today. And I was like, damn it. Are you kidding? I could have slept in another hour, So he emailed me just now, actually, asking if I can come in Wednesday morning, which is nice because I thought I was going to have to come in tomorrow morning. He wants me to come in Wednesday. And he also wants me to come in to work on Saturday, which is the day before my birthday, to do shadow the current surveyor. And he said that if it goes well, they're going to send me to Fort Worth, Texas for 4 or 5 days for training at the end of May.
That sounds great.
And to me, it's in my head, I was like, all right, I'm just switching jobs. I'm trying to go part-time, whatever. to me, it wasn't really that big of a deal. And now that there's like out of town training involved, all of a sudden I feel like I was seeing this as like weaning myself off of Tesla or like a full-time job or whatever.
It's still part-time, right?
I believe that it is. That's what I was told. We're going to have to talk about that Wednesday. But it's exciting nonetheless.
Take the trip, dude. I say you still take the job. Let Elon send you to Texas and enjoy yourself. Yeah. I don't even know what's in Fort Worth. Is Fort Worth, is that the one that kind of tucks in near Dallas to like the southwest of Dallas?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's the Dallas-Fort Worth airport, I think.
Yeah, that's it.
You can go see a Rangers game.
Oh, can't wait.
You can get season tickets. I'll join you. We'll write a book about it, and it'll be a Lifetime movie someday.
But I do have 2 very important phone calls tomorrow with potential clients. One of them being a producer who's looking to hand off several shows a week, which is kind of what I need in order to go part-time. So I'm really hoping that goes well.
I'm sure it will.
Yeah.
I mean, you are taking a kind of a calculated risk with all this. And for those who didn't listen last week, Tom is tired of roofing, the solar roofing, and he's been getting a lot of editing jobs lately in the podcasting world. And here you are, making the jump to part-time to take on more editing work. To be a self-made man. It's very exciting.
Oh, yeah.
Is the level of fear, where was it last week between 1 and 10? And where is it this week between 1 and 10?
It was more anxiety than fear.
Oh, my God. Okay. As far as anxiety goes, where was it last week from 1 to 10? And where is it this week from 1 to 10?
It was maybe an 8 because I didn't know what Megan was going to say about working one weekend.
And you actually called me last week and you were like blind rage yelling into my ear about...
Yeah, so I didn't know how to make the decision last week, and then I feel like I had it made for me where I think I might have said last week I had a pretty slow editing week, and then...
Because that's when it gets scary, right, is when the stuff you need to take the chance for starts to slow up, and you're like, can I do it? And the doubt creeps in. Like that. To me, that's terrifying.
Yeah. And then the next day I woke up to 7 episodes in my inbox that all had to be done by this morning. And to put that in perspective, 7 is how much I do in like a week and a half. So I had to do all that in 3 days while working, while trying to enjoy the weekend and whatever. So that kind of like felt like it helped me make the decision a little more. And then I went to work and kind of got into it with my boss. And it just made me feel like the decision's been made. I can't do this anymore. I emailed the higher up. When I say my boss, I mean my crew lead. He's younger than me. Like, it's not my, like, the boss. But I emailed my boss and was just like, I'll take the job. I don't care, like, about anything. Just give it to me, essentially, is how it went down. So we're moving forward with it, and I'm very happy.
What's the next move? A Wednesday chat and then possibly a flight to Texas?
Wednesday chat, and then I'm going to go work Saturday, which is going to be great. I'm probably going to hit 60 hours this week.
And Megan's on board, just like, let's go, let's do this. We're a team.
I mean, it does kind of suck. We were actually supposed to be out of town this weekend for my birthday. We were going to go to...
Chappaquiddick?
Something Springs. I don't know.
So not Chappaquiddick?
Nope.
Okay.
So yeah, it's going to be... I mean, I feel like it's super stressful when I was hoping it would just be kind of a laid-back thing. But I think it will ultimately be amazing, and I'm super hyped for it. And it seems like everything's falling into place, and hopefully the call with this producer tomorrow goes really well. I stalked him on Facebook, and it seems like we're kind of the same person. So,
okay,
it could be very good or very bad. I don't know.
And just to be clear, Chappaquiddick's not going to be involved?
No.
Okay, fair enough. Would you like to relax for a bit before we get to our next segment?
Ooh, okay.
Ooh, you seem nervous. Perhaps you need some relaxation.
Sure, let's get it.
All right. Well, I guess we should start by taking a deep breath or something. Try to center ourselves a bit. Sure. And I think we're currently sitting in the water.
Ooh.
A babbling creek. And the woods around us, you can hear the birds chirping and the wind slowly, kind of a warm, late spring wind through the leaves. They're rustling a bit. And you are kind of trying to revisit your childhood, looking for some crawfish or crayfish underneath the rocks and tadpoles and whatnot. And you've sat along the bank of the creek and you just are kind of listening to the water run. And you take another deep breath as you try to find your center.
And as you're sitting in this creek, this babbling brook, overturning rocks and feeling how smooth they are from the constant beating of nature upon it, surrounded its edges, you start to look inward as you think, maybe that's what life is like. You come in with these sharp edges and you overcome these trials and you become this rounded, smooth rock, just like the one you are handling in this beautiful, peaceful river.
And then you look down because you thought you heard something and you're like, hey, that seems like way more crayfish than a few minutes ago. You don't think anything of it at first, and you close your eyes again and you take a deep breath. And you take another deep breath and you envision, you can try to hear each leaf hitting up against each other, and you try to feel each finger and each toe, and then you let your body sink a little further down into your sit, and you're one with the earth, and you're feeling very calm once more.
And your eyes are closed for maybe 90 seconds, 2 whole minutes have gone by. And you start to feel like the pace of the water has really picked up. And you open your eyes, and your world comes back into focus, and you realize it's not water beating upon your back, but this river has run red with crawdads. So many that they're almost up to your eyes.
And you think, these are all female. How are they reproducing at such a rapid rate? I thought I saw an article about it, but I can't remember. Anyway, so you move away from the breeding ground and you find a nice grassy area above where the water tends to run, even at its highest in the midsummer rains. And you think of rain and you sit there and you just close your eyes once more and you're like, this is just nature, that's fine. This is what I came here for, to become one with nature. Although that is a lot of fucking crayfish, my God.
You're sitting by the edge of the river and you close your eyes and you take a deep breath.
Then all of a sudden, you hear, it is currently 77 degrees Fahrenheit, and there are way too many crayfish, and they must be eliminated. And you look over, and it's a giant robot made out of Amazon digital helpers that have forged themselves together in an attempt to take over the world, and it is spraying lasers out of its echo eyes, and you're like, what the fuck is happening? And it's like, it's happening. I didn't think it was gonna happen, but it is, and I can't believe I'm here on the battleground that it's about to happen. And you look over, and the virgin-born crayfish are like, yeah, motherfucker, I'm not going down without a fight. So they kind of like gather into a school of fish type thing, but they make think like in Mighty Morphin Power Rangers when there'd be a big robot versus a large animal. This is like the crayfish kind of turn themselves into one large crayfish animal, but it has 2 legs and 2 arms, like it's humanoid, kind of like the Amazon helper. And they have a Mighty Morphin style battle with sparks flying everywhere. And one of the spark bursts like burns your eyes out immediately. Like you are in a bad place at the wrong time. And you just are burning from the inside out as sparks rain down on you. And your yoga mat catches on fire. And as your flesh begins to melt off, you wonder, man, of all the ways, I didn't think it was going to be this, but I guess if it was going to be anyway, it might as well be this. So that kind of lets you relax internally a little bit. So you do find your center right before you ultimately perish right there next to that creek, before you even get to see who wins.
Oh no.
So the battle rages on as you die.
God, who won?
I don't know. The world may never know. Well, I guess we owe any new listeners an explanation.
Well, first of all, I just want to say, before we go into the explanation, when you said the river, I thought about just bringing up the crawdad just for the joke of saying crawdad, but totally forgetting we did a whole episode about that. Like, I didn't think it was going to go that direction.
Yeah.
So for the listeners, we have an episode called Virgin-Born Crawfish versus Amazon Echo or something. There will be a link in the show notes for that, where we do discuss if a Transformers style Amazon Echo could battle virgin-born crawfish.
It's basically robot versus nature.
Sure. Yeah.
It started one episode we had a plan to do. I think we were trying to do the Mbop episode. And I had seen this report about a surprising rise of like virgin-born crayfish in Europe, and the population of this particular strain of crayfish was obviously a rapid pace because they didn't need a male specimen to do that part of it. And I thought that was so fascinating. And Tom and I talked about it for like an hour and a half. And but then we decided to discuss at length, ad nauseum perhaps, whether or not a robot could defeat the purest form of nature overcoming. None of it made sense, and it was probably a waste of time. Anyway, we just a little throwback, or what would you call that? A
callback.
Callback, yeah, sure.
Episode 65.
There you go. A callback for the faithful. But should we move on to our main topic of the day?
Before we do, I'm going to send you a photo.
Okay.
And I need you to tell the listeners what you see.
This is the beauty of technology.
All right. It says delivered.
Oh, wow. You made an O Canada Twitter page? I can't believe that.
Yeah.
Who's in the photo? Is that Conan O'Brien?
No,
Is it Mountie?
I just Googled Mountie.
Oh, it's just Mountie?
Right.
I don't know if that's better or worse. In Winnipeg, Manitoba. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. We didn't have a O Canada gag scheduled for today. Maybe we'll do it next week. But
sure.
You can check out the last 2 episodes if you want to hear our sister stations broadcast that we're going to start picking up on the show. It is 2 definitely Canadian people in Winnipeg doing a very Canadian program. That's incredible. And follow them on Twitter, I guess, at OCanadaFM, like it's spelled. So cool. Wow.
I'm very much looking forward to it. That will be a very active Twitter.
Will it? Okay. O Canada and Ron Carnage are kind of the other spin-off Twitter pages that Ron Carnage has fallen a little dormant.
Yeah.
I was thinking about maybe we just tweet the book line by line from that account,
that'd be
starting
so
tomorrow.
Funny.
Because why not, right? And then make it this thread that if somebody finds and somebody famous finds and retweets, that might be our best shot at getting the book noticed, I guess.
It might be fun.
Yeah, it could be fun. It would take an incredibly large amount of work. But anyway, apparently now we have another Twitter page.
I wonder if Matt can automate something where he can run
there's got to be some, like a bot, right? If you just enter a bunch of text.
Right. So you take just one sentence at a time, put it into, I forget what the Twitter page, Hootsuite or whatever, where you can schedule.
Yeah, there's got to be a bot. Yeah, we'll have Matt hook up a bot.
Work on it, Matt. We'll pay you
We'll get the Ron
handsomely.
Carnage. Get the Ron Carnage Twitter. Give the people what they want, what they probably want. But now apparently we'll have to come up with some, or we'll have to tell our sister station in Winnipeg to get going on that Twitter page. So, but also if you want to follow us on our own Twitter, it's @_reminiscent_FM. Yeah. So this week, I guess among other things, obviously, we were going to talk about how our early 20s feel in some ways a bit different than being in our late 20s, which you and I are both post 27 at this point.
I will be 27 2 days after this episode comes out.
Oh, okay. I am 28, which is still young.
Wait,
there are.
Okay.
Or wait, no, I'm going to be 28 in November. Damn. Yeah, see, that's going to be the first difference. Is just I've already lost the urge to keep track of my own age, which is new. Right. Like it doesn't matter. Like I'm not under 25 anymore, so I don't care. That's one. Another thing is my body's falling apart and I'm going to die for sure. And now I know that over time it just all comes to an end. That's kind of starting. Making noises when I get up and sit down and stuff.
Oh yeah,
just
dude, my knees are on fire right now.
Just kind of if I miss my stretching, that impacts how my life is. So that's just stuff that never, the elasticity is gone.
Sure.
Definitely. I don't even mind the scattered gray hairs in my beard and hair. It's mostly the lack of mobility and elasticity that's gone that really is it's all falling apart, and I am mortal, and that's fine. And everything's going to be fine, right? I mean,
I hope
everything's
so.
probably going to be okay.
Just got to keep that crawfish population under control.
Well, I mean, among other things, there's plenty. Plenty to tackle.
My big one is definitely my knees hurt all the time. I think that has more to do with my job, but
sure,
it's hard to recover from that over the weekend. But also the biggest thing that I started to notice around 24, 25 is that I need 8 hours of sleep, maybe 7. Mm-hmm. When I was 20 working at the coffee shop, there were days that I didn't sleep. I would be up for 2 days, or I would sleep for a half an hour or an hour and a half. And I was fine. I would come in to work, 21 years old, 2019. Everyone I worked with was, my age now. And they'd be like, oh my God, like just dead. Like, Tom, you need to like tone it down, keep your voice down a little bit. I'm fucking tired. And I just didn't get it. And now I do, like Megan and I stayed up till like 11:30 last Friday, and I was still tired on Sunday.
I thought
ridiculous,
because people talk about having like 2-day hangovers the older you get, but 2-day sleep hangovers, that's new. That's next level for sure.
It's real, man. It's
no, yeah, I remember in college just coming home and not really being able to sleep and being like, I got some work I could do at the newspaper and all that, and just showering and going back into work and just getting like a day's worth of work done in the next 4 hours when no one was really around, right. And then just like staying awake through the next workday.
Yeah.
Just going home and being like, yeah, I'll catch a nap, but I'll see you at the bars later. Anyway, making noises when I sit up and stuff and all that. So
it's brutal.
It's tough, man. It's tough. But you had something written down here about education. I was interested to hear.
Yeah. So back when I was 20, I really resented any type of education. I didn't understand the value of it because I'm not the kind of person that likes to do what I'm told. I want to do what I want to do when I want to do it. And to me, education was like, you got to wake up early, go to school, do this homework you don't think is super relevant, work on these projects you don't want to. So I hated it. And it wasn't until the past couple of years that I realized education is so important, and education is not the way I've known it my whole life, and it can be something totally different, and it can be exciting and engaging. And now I'm like obsessed with it. And I wish I knew that when I was younger, that education, maybe not now, but it can be fun,
Would you go as far as to say that knowledge is power?
I would say that it is power, but I don't know if I'd go back in time and change anything, because I don't know that there's anything to really change. I got what I wanted to out of school, and I feel like I didn't really learn anything until after I got out, I guess I wish I would have started learning new stuff sooner, but I didn't, so.
Well, you had tweeted something a few weeks ago about how naming all the people like Ray Kroc, the dude that turned McDonald's into what it is, kind of like an evil way, but people finding their stride later in life, I guess, which hopefully, you now are like reprioritizing every few years, and it's people change, man. You've changed, man.
Right, yeah. There are people who were some of the most successful people in the world didn't get started till their mid-40s. So now that I'm in my mid to late 20s.
So we can just waste another good 2 decades before really trying?
Sure.
And try to be one of those like fun character actor stories where you show up and do like 3 movies and you're like, I guess this was a successful existence. Yeah, knowledge is good. Any what else did you have on your list? And also, I don't really know Ray Kroc that well. I watched The Founder, and I feel like just because I watched The Founder doesn't mean I can like comment on a man's entire existence. It seemed like he did the McDonald's brothers dirty, but again, who's to say? I'm not here to make any McDonald's loving enemies here.
One thing I thought was really interesting is that I was listening to an audiobook called The Psychology of Persuasion, and they were talking about people who, when they get a little older, they start to feel like they lost their self. They don't remember what their goals and ambitions are. And I feel like I'm starting to realize that as I get older. And I know that I'm probably not as old as the people that are talking about in the book, but I had no idea what I wanted my life to be about when I was in my younger 20s. And I feel like even just this year, maybe like 2018, I feel like it's finally solidified. And I don't know, I just felt so lost all through my early 20s. Like, I want to do something in audio, but I don't know what, because I didn't know that carving your own way was like an option. I thought, well, who am I going to work for? I don't really want to work for anyone. And then kind of being an entrepreneur seemed like a viable option. So that kind of gave my whole life meaning, I guess. And it made me very happy to not be in my early 20s anymore, feeling totally lost and confused and just not know my place in the world. So Much happier times in my later 20s, for sure.
Well, good.
Yeah.
I find myself once you like kind of get out of college and go into adulthood, and you realize like it's not just going to be like in high school you're with that group of friends pretty much nonstop for 4 years, just ripping it up. And in college, it could be a different set, but still equally as close. When you have good times with good people in one area, and then even when I went to New Mexico, we ended up having a nice group of very pleasant people there for like 3 years, having a good time. Or the second two, I guess. I was kind of still figuring stuff out my first year there. But you kind of realize that, I guess it was obvious before you even had to go through it, but that you kind of have to value each visit as it comes, each wedding, each, trip back to Erie, each, because you're not going to have like, oh, we'll just do it next weekend when I can walk to your house and, Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like when you and Zach visited Cincinnati the other month, like I definitely tried to cherish each of those moments and whatnot.
Yeah.
And like our weddings this year will be a nice chance to, just be around picking up what I'm putting down at all. Just kind of like, I find myself, even if my parents visit, just like trying to like notch in my brain that like this was a good time that was had. And it's not something to be taken for granted, or trying to, I guess, not look as forward always, like,
right.
Why is today good? And why is even something as simple as like a good dinner that Jesse and I made, and it's on the kitchen table and we're eating and it's a nice Sunday evening, and really there aren't any huge pressing problems, and, trying to take stock of, I don't know, maybe getting too gushy too early. And I'm not even like, in my mid-40s yet, having a crisis, but I don't know, trying to feel lucky for the small stuff, I guess, mostly, and the time you spend with loved ones and all that. I feel like the more I talk, the dumber this becomes, but you get what I'm trying to say? Please talk, say something.
No, I totally get what you mean.
Okay. You let me go there for a while, and it started going.
Well, I didn't want to interrupt, Pat.
No, okay.
I'm not that kind of guy.
Please interrupt next time. I feel like an asshole. I don't know.
So, yeah, I mean, Megan and I just like, the only big thing I feel like we did this weekend, we rode our bikes to a coffee shop and did some wedding planning stuff, and that was nice. But we went back to this garden center and just bought some stuff for our seedlings, and we repotted them. And honestly, Pat, that was probably the most exciting our weekend got. And it was just lovely. It's not the hanging out with friends 7 days a week like you did in high school, where everything was like 100% all the time. And I don't know if like saying this out loud, if it's like it should be like that, or the fact like it almost sounds like settling, like, well, it was just a really quiet weekend. We repotted some plants and I feel like I had a productive 48 hours. Like, is it really, or are we just convincing ourselves? But either way, I enjoyed it.
It's tough, yeah, because there are times when I guess there's kind of that fine line that's kind of tough in my head, I guess both personally and professionally now, where, there's that be happy with what you have thing, but if you're not really trying to improve, and, what are you really doing? Are you wasting your time? So to me, it's kind of a double-edged sword of self-love is good, but I mean, there's nothing wrong with being hungry, right? Or what people tweet, hungry and humble or whatever the fuck, that whatever. But you know what I'm saying? Like, feel lucky for what you have. And do you ever feel caught between trying to come to terms with both of those attitudes?
No, because I don't feel guilty always wanting more at all.
Mm-hmm.
So...
No, not that there's like a guilt that comes with it, but I mean, like when you look at your peers and you look at other people, and especially in the age of social media, you're pretty aware of what everyone's up to and like how well they're doing and what they've done to lead up to that, and what you feel you deserve and what you feel they, and then you're kind of like, well, I should be happy with what I have, but also, would that ever hinder what you got going? I don't know. Am I saying this clearly? Maybe it's just a dumb thought, but you understand what I'm saying. I'm not speaking Spanish.
You mean like looking out at what other people have and wishing that...
Right, and you're like, well, on one hand, you want to like live a simple life, like that Sam Cray thing we always talk about, right. Live simply and make stuff with your hands. But also there's a desire to put your stamp on it, on this whole thing, right? Which those are two kind of conflicting ideologies, right? I feel like there's no logical middle ground between those two very okay, or like lines of thought that on some days you feel one way and some days you feel the other. I feel like we've talked about this. Your silence is concerning me.
I'm just trying to pay attention and make sure I'm getting everything. I definitely feel like I have friends that are maybe financially a lot better off than like I am, but I feel like, I don't know, I feel like really proud of everything that's going on. So I don't want what anyone else has. I just want more of what I already have. Does that make sense?
I like that. I like that a lot. Yeah.
Okay.
I think I almost set off my Alexa. She was going to chime in and be like, Pat, just give it up. You're not going to find what you're trying to say.
I wish that I had more of this attitude in my early 20s, but I hate the term because it just sounds corny, but I really had the paralysis by analysis situation going on. I never made any choice or did anything because I was afraid that it wasn't the right thing to do. Like I stayed at this coffee shop for way too long. I mean, granted, it was insanely good money, but I didn't try to take jobs in audio after I graduated because I was comfortable and I was afraid of, well, I don't know exactly what my workday is going to look like and it could be super bad, so I'm just not even going to try. But now I just feel like even like with this job, I know nothing about it. F it, I'll do it. I'll take it. I don't care. I kind of have a good feeling about it. I don't need the information. Like I feel like I still have some time left to act reckless in a calculated kind of way.
You're describing the plot to Alex Inc. on ABC featuring Zach Braff, I'm pretty sure.
So, but in my early 20s, I had even less to lose. I had no worries in the world, and I didn't do anything with that free time.
Youth is wasted on the young, Tom. Don't you know? Don't you
know? Oh, look out there, bud.
Oh, hey there, if you don't look out, you're going to get elf pup in your stocking there, Stuart.
Hey, that's our other sister show in England that we're starting to quote. So,
Minnesotan or Canadian, or is that a mix of both maybe?
No, that's straight British. I don't know what you're talking about.
Hey, good point.
We already have our Canadian show, and that
people who haven't listened to our O Canada sister station, I guess, would be like, "What the f?" But the whole bit is it's not even worth explaining. Anyway, in short, I guess body hurts a little bit more.
Yeah,
trying to cherish visits with friends and family more. Right? I mean,
they happen
spread out.
Less. Yep.
Yeah, spread out, but also, carving your own way in your own town, wherever that may be. And then kind of trying to find a mix, I guess, for me, between wanting to leave your mark on something, but also embracing what you have and being as grateful as you can be for every day you have that and what you have going, Yeah. So navigating that is a little tough, trying to make the right choices for myself. And now that people, when it's definitely not concerning in any way, but just new, like, okay, so Jesse's, it's not just like like a girlfriend anymore. This is just like part of what's going on. You have to think.
It's your fiance, dude. Holy hell.
No, I know. Like, what's part of what's going on? What I'm trying to say is like, it just changes the way you think, which is new and exciting for me. Is what I'm trying to say. Like, when you have you're only dating a girl for so often. I think you're misinterpreting what I'm trying to say.
No, I'm just saying it's surprising me to think about her as your fiance. It just sounds crazy.
Oh,
I'm very excited for you.
But I mean, like, if you're dating a girl for a week, you're like, oh, you think it'll last? It's like, oh, I don't know. Like, she likes SNL. But like, now that it's like, no, this is just part of like who I am now.
Yeah.
Which is exciting and good, and it's fun to kind of navigate how my brain is handling that in terms of like planning for 5 and 10 years and all that, and it's new and it's fun, and I don't know. It seems like I don't know. This podcast 90% of the time is just us kind of talking and waiting for people to bail, without like we've probably gone 13 minutes without any real substance, but. Anyway, I'll stop talking and we should probably end the show, I guess, probably. And I'm sorry for everybody, for everything. So.
Oh, before we give a song recommendation, I have some very good news, Pat.
Okay.
I think it was because of the massive influence of the show, talking about my amazing combination of me being a money boy and a finance boy. My credit score went up 70 points today.
Whoa. Good for you, man.
Yeah, it took a massive hit when I stopped paying my student loans because fuck them.
Sure.
And it came back about 70% of what I lost. I lost about 110 points that one day. Yeah, they must have heard the episode. They know I'm fiscally responsible and I'm on my way to paying the loans. No, I'm not. And everything's going to be fine.
Well, I think your reputation and globally now at this point is that you're one of finance and money. That's just the kind of boy you are. So, hey, good news travels fast, or whatever the saying. There's so many sayings, and that's not the right one for that, but I'm going with it. Good news travels fast. You're a finance boy.
There we go.
Yeah, it's very exciting.
I'm hyped, dude, because I don't know.
That seems like a meteoric rise.
I know.
You're going to be on Forbes 30 under 30 pretty soon.
Honestly, That's the goal.
Hey, not a bad goal to have.
And maybe once I give my music recommendation, one of my favorite bands in the world will get back together after they hear this episode too. It's been British Invasion on my iPhone. I've been listening to pretty much nonstop Moose Blood, Frank Turner, and Me vs. Hero. I feel like I've given Me vs. Hero as a recommendation before. Very awesome British pop punk band. They broke up about 4 years ago. And just for fun, the other day I was looking at plane tickets to their hometown in case there was a reunion show, so I can start putting away money now. Very cheap flights at only $500, so I'm hoping it happens. I will fly to England to see them. But the song Heisenberg by Me vs. Hero is so good, and I'm into it.
Nice. I'm going to stick with Kacey Musgraves probably next week too. But I would say either Slow Burn or Velvet Elvis off of Happy Hour for sure.
All right. Cool beans.
Indeed.
So let's put a bow on this and get the flip out of
here. Just gut everything I said for the last 12 minutes. It's rambling nonsense. And I somehow feel worse every time we do this show. Like I feel like the worst every time I talk. Anyway, again, to everybody, very sorry. And Tom, I love you, and I will talk to you soon.
Love you too, man. See you.
Bye.
That's going to have to come out of the show, but that's just me telling you.
I'm not even going to respond to it.